morning students, welcome back to English class. Hope you are all doing good. Today we are going to look at a poem from our literature textbook. The title of the poem is The Swing. What is the title of the poem? The Swing. Do you like swinging? The poem is written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Who is the poet here? Robert Louis Stevenson. This poem is all about the joy of swinging. The joy of swinging. So when do you swing? Very often you swing, right? So let's enjoy this poem by reading and explain.
How do you like to go up in a swing? Up in the air so blue. Oh, I think it's the most pleasant thing even a child can do. Up in the air and over the wall till I can see so wide. Rivers and trees and cattle and all over the countryside. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down, up in the air and down, up in the air and down.
Children, first let us read the first stanza of the poem. How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it is the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Shall we read once again? How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it is the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. In the first stanza of the poem, the speaker begins by asking a question. This question and the lines that follow make it clear that the speaker is a young child. It's unclear who the intended listener is supposed to be. It could also be a child or another adult the speaker is excitedly talking to. The question this child asks is about swinging. Up in the air so blue. This phrase, up in the air, is repeated throughout the poem. It appears in each stanza and begins a total of 4 lines. It is a perfect example of anaphora. Let's move to the second stanza. Up in the air and over the wall, till I can see so wide, rivers and trees and cattle and all over the countryside. The first line of the second stanza of the swing begins with the refrain, up in the air. Refrain means repetition. The speaker is imagining the best moments they have had on the swing and the joy they felt when they rose so high they could see over the wall. This gives the reader one simple detail about the setting. It is enough to where one can assume this swing is located within a distance of a structure, perhaps a house or the boundaries of a farm or garden. It is clear that the swing gives the child a sense of power that he or she doesn't have when they are on the ground. They get a view all over the countryside when they swing. Let's move to the last stanza of the poem. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown, up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. In the final 4 lines, Stevenson utilizes the bouncing motion of the rhyme and rhyming scheme to stimulate the up and the down progress of the swing. The child has risen up to see over the wall. And then as the swing starts to fall, they look down and see the garden and green. This clarifies a bit more of the setting. The swing is in the garden and it is the garden wall that the child is looking over. On the way back down, the child also sees the roof so brown. It is the opposite of the countryside. as it is dark and familiar. It is part of the child's home and it represents safety and the mundane everyday. The last two lines both begin with the phrase up in the air. As long as the child has the energy to push the swing, they will continue in this arch up above the wall and then back down below. The poem concludes without a real conclusion. It is clear that the joy of singing is going to continue on for a while longer as the swing goes up and down. So I hope you understood the poem. Read the poem several times. Try to learn the poem by heart and learn the difficult words. Okay then children, take care. Bye bye.